three army officers had a narrow escape after a Cheetah helicopter crashed in the Tangste region near Leh in Ladakh. Officials said that the incident took place on Wednesday, but details emerged on Friday. The helicopter was being piloted by a lieutenant colonel and a major, while the passenger on board was Major General Sachin Mehta, the general officer commanding of the Infantry Division. Officials said that all three occupants survived with minor injuries, calling the escape nothing short of a miracle. A probe has now been launched to determine the cause of the crash. Meanwhile, officials say that the army is preparing to phase out its aging fleet of Cheetah and Cheetah helicopters over the next several years. The force plans to replace them with new light utility helicopters, including locally manufactured platforms developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Well, a major tragedy averted as three army officers narrowly escaped with minor injuries after Cheetah helicopter crashed. After the incident, the army is preparing to take out all the aging fleet of Chetak and Cheetah helicopters. Three army officers narrowly escape death and have suffered minor injuries after the crash. Major tragedy unfolded near Leh in Ladakh. Officials said that the incident took place on Wednesday, but details emerged on Friday. The helicopter was being piloted by a lieutenant colonel and a major, while the passenger on board was a Major General Sachin Mehta. All three officers have escaped the crash with minor injuries. Officials said that all three occupants survived with minor injuries, calling the escape nothing short of a miracle. Pictures have now emerged of the crashed helicopter. Probe has been launched to determine the cause of the crash. Meanwhile, officials say that the army is now preparing to phase out its aging fleet of Cheetah and Chetak helicopters over the next several years. The force plans to replace them with new light utility helicopters, including locally manufactured platforms developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. I'm being joined by Major General KK Sinha, retired, is with me on the broadcast as well. Major tragedy. Officials are saying that this escape of the three officers is nothing short of a miracle. A probe has been launched into the cause of the incident, but how do you see this development?
Good afternoon and Jai Hind. These type of incidents, especially with the cheetahs and chetak, these are very old machines. Only the Indian Army and Indian Armed Forces are actually using them because of the constraint of the air assets with us. So what I see, it is a daring thing, which you do. And what you said is a miracle. Yeah, these miracles do take place. There are a number of things, if there is no injury, it is not reported. If the, your aircraft or your helicopter is not damaged, that one. These are within the, preview of the services remain. But these incidents do happen because of the machine, which is very old, very difficult to maintain, but we have to have the things going, so we are doing it. In spite of the fact that a lot of things, new things have come up. So I view that way. I've got my own personal experience on a number of times. One was a major thing which we have to sit down. We say sit down and crash. Sit down when, the pilot takes and sit down in a very hostile terrain. Sometimes you are, you may land toward the enemy side. So I look, these are the service hazard. I take it that way, and thank God that, all three are survivors, and I believe there is a, div commander who is sitting in it. and he was there. Very, very important. If something tragic happens, it can lead to any fatal way of, loss, which is not there. So I think the pilot must be complimented because he must have taken enormous risk and sense of his judgment by which he has able to, evade that subtlety of this helicopter.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Major General, for joining me on the broadcast with those meaningful insights.